This video and these videos that we're going to watch about 10 of them. It's by this channel called 4chan and Chill. This first one's called Self-Esteem Annihilation. That sounds looming.
See constant threads about girls on manlets on R9000. Be 6'2" white guy. Borderline schizopathic. Barely have any empathy. Use Tinder and match with only really short girls. Exclusively seek out shorter girls. 5'4" or below. Talk to them casually and bring about short guys. If any of them talk about manlets or say they're gross, I start pursuing them harder. Ask them out with the promise of take a small bottle of mustard water and hide it in my jacket. Go to roasty place. Make out or whatever, and then right before we're about to bang, ask to be excused and go to the bathroom. Down the mustard water. Go back to see her. Hold back the vomit. When their clothes come off, I immediately start vomiting all over and spray as much as I can. Roasty is horrified. I tell them I find their shortness disgusting, and I feel like I'd be doing a minor. I leave telling them they shouldn't date tall guys, and to stick to manlets. I've successfully done this 10 times in the last 6 months. They always end up crying or freaking out, and I jack off to that thought when I get home. I'm doing this for you, my manlet brothers. It's not your fault you didn't hit the genetic lottery.
Not the hero we deserved, but the hero we needed.
Oh man, lit. Whoa, a lot going on there. That's like legitimate coordination. That's this guy going to a crazy extent just to destroy the confidence of these women. And if I'm being real with you, I have no compassion for them. This guy's clearly a sociopath, and I don't think that he's necessarily doing it for his manlet brothers. Which, regardless, I mean, if that's the result, hey, might as well, yeah. But, oh man, that's hilarious though. It's like, screw them for being shallow, absolutely. Why didn't you go after some other dudes? Instead, you single-handedly chose this guy and went through with all of it just because he satiated your superficial criteria? Ugh. That's funny though, that's very funny. No sympathy for those women. All right, next one. All right, this one is called Don't Fuck With This Femcel. What do you mean by that? Under Femboy Dating Stories. Very nice.
Fembot Dating Stories. Be me, 19-year-old feminine neat. Dangerously socially retarded. Do nothing but play Vidya and watch anime. Meet guy on Valorant during quarantine. Actually really charismatic and funny. Start playing together daily. Daily Vidya turns into daily messages. Message start getting more and more lewd. Most of his lewd messages almost always mention his 8-incher. He eventually asked me to send nudes. F that, .jpg. He becomes more and more persistent. Keep telling him I'm not comfortable with it. He keeps persisting. Finally agree to send him my nudes if he sends me his. He is reluctant, but eventually agrees. Sends a D-pic. 3-inch veiny mushroom. Can't look at it without instantly thinking of Toad from Mario. Feel misled and manipulated. Refuse to send my nudes because he lied to me. He starts baby raging at me and tells me not to contact him again. Feel really depressed and stupid for thinking he actually liked me for who I am as a person. Weeks go by. Get a message from him out of nowhere. KYS, you dumb effing slut. Feel rage come over me. Start to see red. Post his 3-incher on his Facebook wall, along with the toxic message he sent me, so his friends and family can see what a big man he really is. A girl responds with the cry laughing emoji. Realize the girl has the same last name as him. Nearly choke on my laughter. Later that night, get a message from that girl. Turns out it was his sister. She apologizes for his behavior. Months go by. Me and his sister are still friends. Apparently, he became reclusive and depressed. Can't help but to feel guilty, even though he brought it on himself. Did I do the right thing, Anons? I know you guys think feminons can't be robots, but any girl who has a nerdy interests has to deal with hordes of insecure creeps, and a lot of us end up alone because of it. The fembot experience isn't as easy as you think.
Oh, boo-hoo. You have all these people showing interest in you who you have no interest in? You think that doesn't apply to a lot of dudes who receive some degree of interest and it's from people that they don't have any reciprocal interest in? Oh, man. Also, that's a crime. Yes, this guy, he's clearly a angry little incel, I guess, according to your words, because people like to slap that word on when they just want to roast people, which it's like, you're both not people. You play Valorant. What's wrong with you? He insults you, and he uses mean words, and in retaliation, you commit a crime. You should feel guilty about it, and he should probably press charges against you. That's not gross. Like, no matter how many mean, bad words that he says to you, what you did is objectively worse than what he did. I mean, the sexting was reciprocal, at least at the time, until you saw that his wee-wee was 3 inches, and you're just like, whoa, that's gross. I felt manipulated and I felt abused. So here, let me humiliate you after I humiliated you. But in a way that could cause legal ramifications if the guy took those steps, which I totally agree. He probably should have done that, absolutely. It's like, it's pretty gross. I said mean words to somebody once and they filed a restraining order against me. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Filed. Succeeded. Ah, what a loser. Huh? Womp womp. Oh, little sad boy. Oh, no. It's like, yeah. Dudes, be careful when you're interacting with garbage. It can cause a lot of problems emotionally, but more importantly, tangibly speaking, which that's harder to recover from. In that case, what I'm referring to, both this story and my story, it's like, it was mean words versus somebody doing something to affect your livelihood. Like, one's clearly and objectively worse than the other. So, yeah, you should feel bad about yourself. You did something worse than what this guy's mean words did to you. Alrighty, next one. Alrighty, this next one's called sociopath.exe. As you can see, we're getting a lot of quality stories here on 4chan with a lot of wholesome, decent people. Let's see what this one's about.
Sorry, I suck at green text. Catch my now ex-wife cheating on me. Pretend nothing is wrong, but turn into a manipulative sociopath. Break gas gauge in her car. Siphon gas out randomly so she's always running out. Get a nanny cam that's hidden in a lamp. Get video of her effing around. Find out everything I can about the guy she's effing. Lol, dance instructor. Find out he's looking for work. Get a hold of his resume. Rework it so it's not stupid. Impersonate him. And get him an interview at a studio 2 states away. Dream job. If you're gay. Takes the job, and after some mushy BS, ghosts my wife. Meanwhile, I start siphoning money out of our accounts slowly, and keep the cash hidden away in my truck lockbox. Put away 10 grand. It's time. Wait for her to be dead asleep. Unlock her phone, and turn off alarms on the days that the coin I flip turns up heads. She gets fired. Calls me bawling her eyes out. When she gets home, my wedding ring is on the table with her laptop playing the video of them effing. Next to that is a copy of the divorce petition.
Whoa. Damn. I mean, justified, absolutely. And in retaliation to the guy who you caught cheating your wife, who you caught your wife cheating with, you got him a better job. I mean, I don't think anyone can really be mad at you for that. God damn. Oh man. Oh, that's your plan, man. God damn. You siphoned her car randomly. You coin flipped for heads to then you turn off her alarm on days and that would get her fired. You set up an idiocam and played that back to her when she got back after realizing she had been fired with divorce papers in your wedding. Absolutely she deserved that. 100 goddamn %. And if somebody's cheating on you like that, destroying your trust in them just because of their stupid ass emotions. I mean, granted, love is just mindless bullshit emotions anyways, but like, if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, then do it. And if you're gonna be committed to somebody, then commit instead of just being a piece of garbage. But absolutely do stuff like this. Absolutely. Screw the people who do that. It's honestly, you're that's comeuppance for who you are and the things that you do. Alrighty. This one's called Anon Gets Height Pilled. That sounds excellent. Height. A super attractive feature. Which is just disgusting. That's disgusting. Let me just say it this way. If you're a woman and you care about height, you've got no substance to your character. Honestly. Oh, but it's my preference. It's the same preference that every other woman has and finds important because I guess it's a reflection of your perceived degree of masculinity or something. It's like if that's a deal breaker for you, you're a low quality person. Sorry to tell you. But you can keep lying to yourself, and it seems to be what you're really good at. If that's the thing that you find to be important, it's gross.
Okay, lads, I was wrong to ever question the height pill. Here's my story. Be me, using a bunch of dating apps. Tinder, Hinge, Bumble. Get a few matches, but it rarely goes to a date. Match with this alt cutie. She's 21. Similar interests. Anime, electronic music. She studies sociology, and that was my degree. Working in marketing. She's impressed that I own a car and have my own place, etc. Chat goes really well. Get her snaps. She sends some lewds. Agree to meet up at a uni bar. This was last night. I get there first, Order her a cider. She said it's her favorite. I notice her come in. She looks gorgeous. Proper alt e-girl aesthetic. Heavy eye makeup, fishnets, some band t-shirt. Yeah, I'm a but I'm a sucker for the e-girl look. She smiles and comes over. I stand up. Her face visibly drops. We're about the same height. She's wearing Docs though, so that probably adds another inch to her height. I don't know. Awkwardly hug. Date lasts about half an hour. Towards the end she's just on her phone. Doesn't seem interested in anything I'm saying. Try asking her about her day, etc., but she's just giving nothing. She says she has to go finish an essay and asks if we can reschedule. I say fine. Another awkward hug. She leaves like a third of her drink. Get an Uber back to my place. Ask her on text if everything was okay. Yeah, anon. I just don't really date guys that are shorter than me. Hope you understand. Respond. Right. Scene. Type out a long follow-up response about how I'm probably taller than her without the boots on. About how she's being a little unreasonable, given our chemistry on text and Snapchat. Message failed to send. Try messaging her on Tinder and Snap. She's no longer showing as a contact on either. Stare at the ceiling for the next few hours. I'm 5'11" and this is how girls treat me. Must be hell for the lads out there who are shorter than me. Took the day off sick because I was up all night getting drunk alone and crying.
Hold on. 5'11". Okay, few things about that. Wow. Whoa. Number one, you dodged a bullet. This woman is garbage. She's human sewage. If 5'11", that's like 2 inches above the national average. Dude, I'm 5'11". People don't believe, it's weird. People almost get offended on my behalf when I tell them that. You're not 5'11". You're at least 6'1". Oh yeah, you feel free to tell me what I am, you piece of shit. But it's like, secondly, she, not only is she human sewage for like setting that as her criteria, and like hopefully she fails for the rest of her life and never finds something that works. But it's like, she didn't even have the I don't know, I can't even say confidence, the decency to tell you up front. Instead, they just like, it gets awkward throughout the whole time. She leads you on a little bit. Makes it a weird interaction where she gives nothing in return, and then later on she just blocks you after giving you some stupid rationalization. This, I know it sucks, I know the physical attractiveness part of it, but you dodged a bullet. You went on a date with garbage. The heavy makeup, I mean, right there, that's pretty gross. The alt stuff, the fishnets. This person's a prop. They're nothing more than that. And 5'11", that's too short. Firstly, again, I say this a million times. If height is a preference and if that's a deal breaker, you're garbage. You're a non-substantial person who doesn't care about who the other person is. You're a thing, and you deserve to be treated like a thing. Secondly, even with the preference, 5'11's too small. No, guarantee you this is an American. Like these are stories of Americans interacting. Bottom of the barrel human. So sorry, dude, you went through that. But if it's true, of course, all these things could be lies. But because that's just 4chan especially. But screw this person. I know it hurts that night after, I guess, where you stayed up crying and drinking. But it's like, who cares? As in, this person that you're with, they're low quality. So even if you did get like with this person, it's like, what are you getting? Some garbage human that expects stuff from you? No thanks. Get away from that. This video is called, or this next story is called, Incel Wreaks Havoc on Tinder Stacy's. Alright, don't know what that means, but we'll see what happens.
Personal success story. Be me. Unattractive, short manlet. Throughout childhood and beginning of high school, very insecure about looks, and little to no success with women. COVID hits, and school closes. Grow 6 inches in 5 months during quarantine. Now 6 foot. Fix haircut, fix style. Actually somewhat conventionally attractive now. COVID starts to die down, and quarantines are lifted. Go to a bonfire with some loose acquaintances from school and my best friend, all sitting around the fire, and my friend mentions that I got tall over quarantine. Immediately, all the girls ask me to stand up so they can see for themselves. Oblige. I kid you not, the first words that were said were, "Oh my god, you're like a person now." The girl immediately apologizes for the wording and clarifies she didn't mean it like that. Too late. Turn evil. Now my freshman year of college, commence villainy. Download dating apps for hookups, meet up with random girl, and do the thing. Immediately after, I tell her, I think I might be gay. Watch the life drain out of her. Done this 3 times now, and I think I'm starting to heal my inner child.
Dude, get that revenge. Oh my god. It's all just superficial nonsense. Fuck these people. That's hilarious. Dude, that's all you can do. It's like, I like how a lot of these women sort of just expect you to get walked over and humiliated, because it's worse for dudes. They're treated way worse when it comes to this facet of life. So I have very little sympathy when people retaliate like this, especially for all the stuff that they've gone through. People seem to think that it's just okay for, I guess, women to be this disgusting and shallow, and to not have these ramifications applied based on being shallow. But it's like, no, nah. You gotta take the justice in your hands, and you gotta just, okay. So that's that. At least, I guess, it's crazy. Well, you grew like 5 inches in a few months during quarantine, my God. Oh, you're suddenly like a person now. And those women aren't. They aren't people. Why is it the bar so high for dudes? When it comes, like, that's an arbitrary, superficial feature. None of that shit matters. But of course it matters to people, because I guarantee you they're told that. That's just reinforced for them, especially given how exaggerated it is in the States. Screw those people. Just average dating advice. If a woman sets height as a preference or considers it to be important, if you ask a woman like, hey, does height matter to you? And the only answer that's acceptable is, not really. I mean, if he's a little taller than me, sure, it's cool, but it's not a deal breaker. That is the only right answer. You do not accept anything else, even if you are tall. Because that is a reflection of how superficial and surface level that a woman like that is. Screw that. Don't give that a chance, ever. It's garbage if a woman says that. If a woman uses terms like manlet, or just, oh, your height matter, like your height is important, like they use that to roast people, it's like they're garbage. What about them? Huh? If you're able to judge a man on his height, can I judge you on your weight, or your waist size, or your face, or how much makeup you use? Get the fuck out of here. It's garbage. Alrighty. This one's called 10 out of 10 Stacy Gets Humbled. You can tell it's 4chan. A lot of dudes. But it's you know, it's kind of cathartic. It's a bit validating to hear these, because it seems like you run into a lot of trash just out in the world, out and about. So it's funny hearing these people getting their some degree of a comeuppance. Screw them. But let's hear how this lady, this 10 out of 10 Stacy, gets her comeuppance.
My sister, pick related, came crying to me after getting her ego destroyed on Tinder. Be her, intimidates guys IRL, tries Tinder, always says stuff like, any of these guys would be lucky to date me. Mom tells her the same stuff, always pumping her up. You're perfect the way you are, etc. Dad is the same way. Meanwhile, I'm always the whipping post. I can do better. My grades are disappointing, etc. Me, nothing's ever good enough. Her, she's a perfect princess. Fast forward to her getting tired of no dudes IRL. Tries out Tinder. Tons of matches. Dudes always in her DMs. Few months go by. Constant dates, but they never stay. Same story. Matches guy. Hits it off thinking she's found the one. Dates and banging, I assume, over the next month-ish. Have some stupid little mundane fight, then guy says some shit like, I just don't know if I'm ready for a relationship yet. Finally has a shred of self-awareness. Asks one of the guys if it's something she did wrong. He said something to the effect of, first off, your pictures look nothing like you. Second, your personality is so loud and aggressive that you're really hard to be around for long periods of time. Third, you're very prideful and full of yourself. And lastly, your body count is way too high for a woman I'd want to marry. So the only reason I kept talking to you was to keep f***ing. I hope you and your son will find a man that will love you both. Forgot to mention she's a single mom. Her son is awesome though. I'm a very proud uncle. I love that little guy so much. After reading this, she comes crying to me and tells me all of this. I said, I agree with almost everything he said, and she storms out of the room crying even harder. I just had to vent to you guys, cause my sister is the most entitled person I've ever met, and she won't listen to any of my advice. And my parents think she's perfect, so talking to them is useless. Moms, dads, raise your daughters better than my parents did, unless you want this to be your little girl too.
That's pretty funny. Your parents suck, your sister sucks, but out of all those people, I feel bad for her child. Too bad that's his mom. An entitled, spoiled, egotistical bitch. I feel out of everyone else, the child I feel the most bad for. It's like, that's not his fault, man. It wasn't his choice to be dragged into that bullshit. Oh my god. Gah. Yes, that's gross. It's a lot of gender prejudice, of course, but you can't expect anything better from humans. Humans are mindless, disgusting animals, and I guess this is just, it's random everywhere you go all around the world. Different cultures have different effects on different people, and that affects how we treat each gender and all those things. This is just the way that I guarantee this is another American. But I'd bet money on that. That just so happens to be the gender standards this part of the world. So the girl gets treated as if she's a princess, even though she's worthless, and it's just a thing that people can look at and be like, "Oh, that's attractive." Yeah. Cool. I like that. That's funny. She probably won't carry it to her next experiences. She'll probably just keep making the same mistakes. And she's a single mom, so I mean, she's already she's already at a disadvantage from now on, which is very funny. Cool. That was that story. This one is called Actual Psychopath. A lot of insane people here. Let's see what it's all about.
Be me, 18-year-old in high school at the time. Have high school girlfriend, 8 out of 10 for a small town. Crazy in the head, crazy in bed. I graduate and go to college. She graduates and decides to take off a year to save some money and live at home. Meet tons of cuties in college. College cuties are cool and down to F. Lose all emotional connection with high school girlfriend. Cheat on her constantly in college. Keep her around because fun to hook up with her when I go back home. Neglect her emotionally for about 6 months. Right as I'm about to dump her, my friend still in high school hits me up. Convince her I'm into cuck. Not actually, just don't give a crap about her anymore. Talk her into banging my friend. Tell her I think it's hot if she lets him take pics and stuff. Pic related. Have her hook up with him and a few others for months. She's not into it at all. She always regrets it, and it's starting to get to her emotionally. She tries to stop, but I say it's what I'm into, and if she loved me, she would do it. Goes on for a few more months. I eventually find a college cutie that I actually want to get serious with. Dump high school girlfriend, and just cut off all communication with her. Find out a month later that my high school buddy is still banging her. He blackmailed her into it with all the pics she let him take. For me. She claims I ruined her life. I eventually married the college cutie. Jeez, dude, I really hope this one's fake.
Yeah, that's fucked. That's really messed up, but there's a few things with that. Firstly, just get this out of the way. His relationship with that new girl is not gonna... If this is the type of person that he is, no, he's gonna do some other stuff in the future that's really disgusting. Secondly, all sorts of men are having trouble even just getting the attention of women in general, yet someone like this is recurrently rewarded, gets with girls back to back, gets girls to fall in love with him. What does that say about... I mean, that's kind of what takes away my compassion. I mean, she's young, but I don't give a shit. It's like he manipulated her, and it worked. His lack of empathy was a fucking benefit to him. And as a result, he was able to get this, was literally able to control a girl. Well, not literally. Well, yeah, literally through his actions, right? Through the emotional curation and coordination to get his friends laid. He abused her. And as a result, he was better off. The fact that his friends came to him is like, "Hey man, I need your help." And he's like, "Hey man, I got you. Take this bitch. I control her emotions. She's mine. And I can use her for, so you get some use out of her." That's why I'm kind of just like, fuck everyone in this story, honestly. Even the girl. Have some self-respect. But also like, I mean, yes, she's young, more impressionable, but that's the point. It's like, out of anybody else you could have gotten with, you got with this guy. And he pulled you through the fucking ringer. And with that, it's like, a lot of dudes are benefited by being psychopathic, by curating women's emotions while women completely disregard people who would actually be decent to them. That's where my lack of compassion comes from. It's like, come on, you chose that. You're more impressionable, which, you know, there's more of an understanding there on my part, but no sympathy, no compassion. It's like, I'm sorry that this is the way that like you've subjected yourself to this type of thing, and you reward garbage like this. That's kind of a reflection of what's going on in here. The garbage on the inside. I know, cold-hearted bastard. How dare you, Jaden, not shed sympathy for somebody who else is privileged in a social context, such as women. How dare you? But you can shit on men as much as you want. And men need to do everything, and men are the culpable for everything, and they're just awful. But this guy, even though this guy is like a piece of garbage, he would be considered as more desirable and of higher tier to women because of all the stuff that he's done. It's like, screw everyone, dude. Screw them all. This next story is called Anon Cracked the Code. Anon stands for anonymous. That's what that is. Let's go.
Download Tinder. Every girl looks about the same. They all have stupid bios. Every match I get acts like they're too good for me.
Yep.
Finally, have enough of the bullshit. Start trolling for the fun of it, seeing as how I got nowhere before. Act like a complete asshole. Put pics of me and my buddy's C63 AMG. Pictures of me leaning on the car, etc. Put job down as lawyer.
Lie saying I live in a rich neighborhood. Post pics of a random pool with a view. Start matching like crazy. Girls message me first every time. A lot asking about the car. Be a dick and tell them their tits aren't big enough to ride in it. They aren't pretty enough to see in it, etc. A lot of them respond with lols and laughing emojis, remaining friendly. Tell me how funny I am. Some offer to suck my d or f me in the car or by my pool. Realize how awesome life could be if I had money. Get depressed. Realize what a loser I am. This backfired tremendously.
I mean, my big takeaway from that is that there's mainly just garbage out there. And that reinforces the stuff that I was saying about the previous story. These women have no self-respect and they only care about the stuff that would benefit them. You were being mean to them and they thought it was funny. And then they thought it was endearing because of your stature in society. Fuck these people. Garbage. Garbage should be treated like garbage. So maybe hopefully these women could find men like this that, you know, beat them down into submission, not like physically. I mean, sometimes that happens, but if that does, I'm sort of just like, all right, But emotionally speaking, and then they just get used up and thrown to the side and discarded, and then their value just slowly deteriorates, and then they're put in the same position as a dude later on in life, which I don't entirely believe. I think women still can acquire it later on in life. The bar is always going to be considerably lower for them in terms of their performance, just because of gender standards, but it's like, yes, if you don't have money, if you don't succeed in life, apparently that's what makes you a loser. Not if you're a crappy person, because that doesn't matter. Nobody cares about if you're decent or if you have substance. Nobody cares about any of that. Humans aren't like capable of being substantial like that. That's not what you should have taken away from that. You should have taken away, oh wow, garbage doesn't want me. Okay, cool. I'm better off then. What did they provide for you other than just the sexual stuff? Nothing. Because they are nothing. So, try not to feel too bad, dude. This one is called Loneliest Goth Girl. Goth Girl Lonely. Me. Alright, let's see what happens in the story.
Scrolling through fapping material. Find photo of a particularly average goth girl. Not ugly, just overall plain. No curves, small tits, just a painfully normal girl, like you'd find at the supermarket. This sparks my curiosity. Reverse search the pic. Find her Reddit account. Hundreds of posts. She tries to pander to a million communities and turn-ons. Goth, cosplays dozens of characters. Weed, feet, monster girls, giantess, everything under the sun, you name it. Despite this, almost none of her pics can get past 10 upvotes. No one ever leaves comments, even the most simp-filled communities totally ignore her. Sometimes she comments herself, always 0 replies. Find her Twitter, endless posts, almost no interactions. Find out she has an OF. She's selling a pack with hundreds of photos for a mere $3. This made me inexplicably sad. This random girl tried everything to whore herself out, but literally nobody on the planet gives a f***. Something in her life led her to sell her dignity for possible fame, or at least a little bit of money, and she got absolutely nothing in return.
Yeah, that last part is sad. Not so sad for the not receiving any reciprocation by putting themselves out there. That's like your average dude's experience. So I have no sympathy for this person, but it's like that last part, the way you framed it, something in her life led her to sell her dignity for possible fame or at least a bit of money, and she got absolutely nothing in return. Yep. Interesting little side thing as a result of your reversed fat material image search, but okay. She will eventually be able to find something. She'll probably try some stuff in real life, not like the whoring out stuff, but like, I mean, it's hard to know what her intentions are. Maybe it's just to get money. Try to do something a little bit more substantial. I don't know. It's not easy, right? I know that a lot of women, especially the attractive ones, take the easy way out. Just, like streamers and stuff, e-girls, who have no personality, who have no soul, who are non-substantial people, who can just show up on a stream, play some video games for a little bit, do that for a bunch, and then acquire a bunch of people that actually like watch their streams. It's that stupid. It's like, you may be able to find something that works, but yeah, welcome to being a dude. No sympathy. Sorry. Not sorry. Sorry for not being sorry. But I'm not even sorry about not being sorry, so. Sorry, but not sorry. Oh god, cold bastard. Not cold. People just don't care. They want to care about people like this, but where's my compassion? Where's my sympathy? Oh right, I'm a dude. I have to pull myself up on my bootstraps and become fucking high value. And then I earned it, right? Instead of just being treated with decency by default. I know, that's crazy, right? I'm a man. How dare I complain? Alrighty, last story. This one is called Telling Cis Women They Pass as Trans Women. I love that title. You should try it in real life. See what happens.
Be me. Based LGBT ally. Live in very left-wing college town. Start flirting with the local cis, straight girl that I just met. Tell her, wow, you pass really well. Looking hurt, she says, what do you mean? Tell her I think she's really brave going out. She tells me she's not trans. I tell her I think she should be proud of who she is. Girl starts screaming and shouting at me. Tell her not to take her anger out on me, because I'm an LGBT ally. Have done this dozens of times. Specifically target lib women, because I enjoy the cognitive dissonance between them saying there's nothing wrong with being trans, and them acting like I've just given them the greatest insult of their lives. I would never do this to an actual ugly woman though, because that would be too cruel. Thoughts, guys?
At least you're ethical with that. Also do that to like really attractive women. The blurred word, I think that's liberal women. I'm not sure why it's blurred. I think that's what that said. But you'd think it would mean the blurred would be hot, which why would you blur that? Because later on he says ugly women. Anyways, that's hilarious. Yeah, I agree. Do that. Get a reaction out of them. Not for like, because you think trans is wrong. It's just funny. It's like, if you see a fat woman or somebody who's just like, oh, you know, be proud of the way of how big you are. Don't care about, you know, taking care of yourself. It's just okay to be obese or something. Compliment them. Be like, oh yeah, you go girl. You're strong. You look like Lizzo.